Sorry, Steve. We have to be quiet. I just want the Arsenal fans to know their history in Europe. Welcome, good afternoon, guys. It's just a bit of a laugh. There you go, Arsenal fans. Just to teach you guys your heritage, football heritage. I'll teach you. You've won one. If you want to count the Fairs Cup, you can have that one. You've won one real trophy in Europe. Big
I
up
count
to
the
you all.
Cities.
It's a bit of fun. How is everyone? Steve, you're bugging out, my friend.
One sec.
Oh, wait. Steve is up to no good. We'll bring him. Oh, are you back? I don't know what's going on with Steve. But anyway, guys, welcome to the show. Guys, we're back. A couple of days off. I was a bit busy. Had things to do. So I took a couple of days off this lunchtime. So how is everyone? I hope all is well. And as I said, Ben, you don't even need to ask. If you want to come on, Ben, I'll pop you over the link. I'll pop you over the link. Oh, go on then. Look at you all. They all want to come on now. It's North London Derby week and they all want to come on. Go on then. Let's get them on. There we go. I've sent you all the links.
As a famous woman once said, let's be
Sorry, apologies. I'm gonna have to end this. It's 2 versus 2 in Europe. It's not like you've won. No. Whoa, Rick Jansen. Know your football, my friend. Arsenal have won one Cup Winners' Trophy. If you want to count the Fairs Cup, I mean, it's like winning the Community Shield's winning a trophy. It's like the Intertoto Cup. Tottenham have won 2 UEFA Cups, 1 Cup Winners' Cup. So when you talk about honours in Europe, Spurs have won more. End of. Yep. Know your football, my friend. Big up, Danny. How are you doing, my friend?
I'm all right, mate. How are you still doing?
I'm here teaching Arsenal fans their own football history, right? It's fun. I know more about your football club, mate. Not you, obviously. Silly Arsenal fans. Big up to you all. Listen, I don't care. I will say how it is. Spurs have a better footballing pedigree in Europe than Arsenal. We debate about the domestic stuff. Arsenal are way more than us. But you've got to call a spade a spade. Spurs have won more trophies in Europe than Arsenal. That's a fact. Full stop. Dan, Steve, welcome on to the show. How you doing? Ben is going to come on and make himself known very shortly. So he's on his way.
Good.
I'm good.
Rick, I'm not manipulating anything. 3 is more than 2. If you want to class the Fairs Cup if you count the Fairs Cup, count it. But 3 is more than 2. That is not manipulating. That is fact. Sorry, Arsenal fans, unfortunately, but guys, you've got to know your history. You've got to, before we talk about anything else, know your football club, my friend. Listen, if Arsenal fans can jump at me about winning stuff in domestic stuff, I know that. We're awful.
Perchy, to be fair, I count the Intercities Fair Cup because that's the last time, that's the precursor to the UEFA Cup, now the Europa League. That was, for me, Newcastle United's last trophy in 1969-70.
Yeah.
But even if so if we discounted that, then our last trophy was, I believe, in 56. We beat Man City 1-0 in a final, if I'm not mistaken. So we won like 3 FA Cups in the 50s, Newcastle. So I count the Intercities Fair Cup personally. I looked at the route and the route and the other teams in there, and I'm like, you know what? Fair play. That's a European.
Listen,
but yeah, 3 is more than 2.
That's what I mean. It is what it is. Listen, I'm not even being salty. I don't care, right? Listen,
nothing to be salty about.
Huh?
There's nothing to be salty about.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I sit there and say, like, you're talking about UEFA Cup was considered harder to win. Yeah, exactly. It's a Perchy, mate. Do Huddersfield have more of a pedigree than Spurs? Well, Spurs have won more trophies than Huddersfield. What are you on about? What are you talking about?
Look, the way
Huddersfield had a very long period, a long time ago, before all of us were born, where they were brilliant. But what you honestly, this is clutching. But the Arsenal fans are incredible. Wait, do you know what it is? I'll ask you boys this. This will be I'll ask you boys this. And Dan Moore, being a Spurs fan, you'll probably get this more. Spurs fans have humbled themselves now because we know what we are, bro. We know what we are. Whereas Arsenal fans still live in that era of winning everything back in the Wenger area. Back in the Wenger era where they were winning absolutely everything. And we all went, wow, like this team it's horrible to see, but they were incredible, right? They still live in that thing, thinking they're still that football club. And for me,
they still didn't win the Champions League. And
they didn't win the Champions League, but in the Champions League, great example. Big up Ben, by the way. He's here. The cough is here. The cough is here. Say how it is. Here's the one. Arsenal in the Champions League have amounted exactly what Spurs have amounted. Whether we like it or not, in the biggest European tournament, Arsenal have done exactly the same as little old Tottenham.
Yeah.
So when Arsenal fans sit there and start giving it the big un in Europe, not talking about domestic, we know that they're a lot better domestically than us. But when they start saying that Arsenal have a better pedigree in Europe than Spurs, it just shows of, and I'm no disrespect to you guys now in the chat, that it shouts of that you guys are only in your 20s or in your 30s and you don't know your history of your own football club. That for me is how I see it. Don't, Alex, don't. Because if we could say that, you could say Spurs, the penalty against Sissoko wasn't one, and it was, do you know what I mean? Don't do that one. Don't do that one.
It's done. It's dusted. Get over it.
In the book now.
Who lifted the trophy? It was Barcelona, right? And listen, that's how it is. What it is.
We just need to make sure we read the calendar because I believe it is Friday, September the 22nd of 2023.
Yep.
It's not 2003 anymore.
Yeah,
they seem to think
there's a lot happening in the middle of it all, hasn't there? Right?
I used to go to. I went to school and I had a couple of Arsenal fan friends, as you do, going to a school in North East London.
Yeah.
Luka Modric playing for us in midfield, and that Luka Modric is a Ballon d'Or winner, who is one of the best footballers I've ever seen and one of the best footballers who ever played a game. I said to an Arsenal fan friend of mine that Luka Modric is better than Thomas Rosicky, which is fair enough, I think, come to think of it, if you look at the history. He said, no, Thomas Rosicki's better than every single one of your players. Better than Van der Vaart, better than Modric, better than Ledley King.
It's crazy.
But that's their way they argue. Oh, it's better than all your players.
Yeah,
it's all they ever can throw.
It's school ground stuff, and this is the thing.
It's debating like a school. That is how they debate. It's madness.
But you know what I've noticed?
Oh, sorry, go on.
And big up to the one guy that's unsubscribed. Listen, we're here for a bit of a laugh. You don't need to be that guy. It's just a bit of fun. It's North London Derby. I'm allowed to give a ribbon as a Spurs fan.
Drink your pumpkin spice latte and have a laugh.
Exactly. We're here to have a laugh. And what I will say before I do anything, later on tonight, about 5 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, 5 o'clock UK time. The video that me and Deluded Gooner did yesterday is out. And I tell you what, it's a really good watch. He's a really nice bloke. If you've worked with him or not, like, he's a really nice bloke. And me and him did a video. I did one on his show and one on mine, and the video is coming out later on today. So please go and check that out later on because it's a really, really good watch. As you probably noticed, I'm toning down a lot of my streams. I didn't do 2 for a couple in a row. So yeah, just for me, listen, it's just about getting good content out. I want to try and do more videos and stuff for you guys. But listen, it's North London Derby week. It's North London Derby weekend coming up now. We're coming later in the afternoon on a Friday. What is the emotions you're feeling right now? And this, it could be one word, it can be a couple. I'll start with you, Ben, and we'll work our way around, go anti-clockwise back to me. I mean, Steve, I'd like to get your thoughts. I mean, not being a Spurs or an Arsenal fan would be interesting. So, emotions right now. Hit me.
It's another day in the office. I know that this Arsenal team have been together a lot longer. They're a much more cohesive unit than we are. As I said in the chat of Savage Show just before, we are 5 games into a painful philosophy change, a complete and utter surgery of a football club that didn't know how to pass the ball to one another for 5 years. So it's very possible Tottenham could lose against the Arsenal on Sunday. And if we lose, we lose. It's very possible that Arsenal could turn up and beat us.
I don't think it's a
very
possibility.
possible.
It's a big reality. Like I'm not delusional like that.
We're not gonna. But people seem to really don't need to. We've got some players that can really hurt the biggest
workers.
team.
We've got workers this time. We've got hard workers, right?
We could turn up and get absolutely battered, but we could also do a battering ourselves. So it's another day in the office. Let's see what happens. Let's be excited for this young team that Ange Postecoglou has put together and see what happens. In the words of Danny Blanchflower when speaking to a journalist, this is why we play the game of football, to see who wins. Let's see what happens on the day. If we lose, let's not get upset. Let's not go the usual thing. Let's see what happens.
Ben, if we lose, the only way I'll be irritated and annoyed and pissed off if we lose against them lot on Sunday is if we turn up and get our bellies rubbed, right? We get our bellies rubbed. If we turn up and get our bellies rubbed, and I go, do you know what? I'm fuming because I've seen this enough times. If we go there, play the way we play football, but then we get battered, right? Then we get battered. I'm like, okay, cool. We've played our way of football. They're just a better team than us. And before I go to Dan, I want to go to this by Scott. Some Arsenal fans are delusional, but so are you. I don't think I'm delusional. I think I'm the most realistic Spurs fan you'll ever see. I don't think we've got world beaters everywhere. I think we've got some decent, talented players. Spurs aren't a big club. Never said we're a big club. Yeah. When has that ever come out of my mouth that we are a big club? We don't operate like one. Yeah. We want to be one, but we don't act like one. Go to a neutral stream and you'll know what non-Spurs and non-Arsenal fans think of Spurs, mate. I'll say this now. I don't care.
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Most neutral fan channels, apart from Arsenal ones, are absolutely waxing lyrical about our manager at the moment. Say they love the way he talks, the way he plays football. Most neutrals are loving Tottenham at the moment. If we carry on this trajectory, we will go back to the way Tottenham used to be, which was everyone's second team, because they just loved the way we played football, whether it was successful or not. But this is just a mistruth. This is
do you know what it is? And here's one for you, and I'll break this last bit up. Big up to you, Scott, by the way, for being into the chat. Big up to you, my friend, because I don't mind changing of different opinions. I like it. The one thing I will say, non-Spurs and non-Arsenal fans, unfortunately, have turned hating on Spurs and as some sort of celebration. It's cool. I don't care. I'll say it now. I don't care when the Ali Pally starts singing Tottenham get battered everywhere they go, or we all hate Tottenham. When we're hearing random fans in WWE events singing, what do we think of Tottenham? I don't care. I'll be honest, I don't care because it's really, I find it as a bit funny for such a small football club. We're on every single one's lips, right? Yeah. I think it's hilarious. But Dan, I'm going to come to you. North London Derby on Sunday, where it's literally in about 49 hours away. Mm-hmm. 49 hours away. No, 50 hours away. 50 hours away from now. 15 hours away. Talk to me. Emotions now, what are you thinking? Are you in the same sort of mode as Ben? Or is it one of those build-ups for you, mate?
I'm quietly positive for this one. But I've got a head and I've got a heart. Now, my head says we go to Arsenal, we don't win. We never seem to do. And we are at the start of everything. They're at their peak now, or so they should be.
Yeah.
I feel there's a lot more pressure on them than there is at us. I think they're also going to come into this. They want to prove something that they want to knock us off our high horse, basically, at the moment. And they would love to be the club that does it. But there's that little positive side of me that says, I reckon we can definitely get a draw out of it.
Yeah.
But if they don't come in with any respect, they might have a kick in the arse they don't like.
Mm.
So I've got two sides to it as such. Like I said, my head and my heart sort of thing. But I do think we've definitely got players that can do it. We've definitely got some workers on the pitch now.
Yeah,
We've
agreed.
We've got a couple of players that stand up to their standards, same as I've been saying on the other page. I think Maddison and Basuma would get into their team. Apart from that, I can't really think of anyone else that would at the moment. The other point I want to make to Arsenal supporters is every time it gets mentioned with Arsenal, when you're talking about Arsenal, the first thing they do is chuck back in your face, yeah, but we've won more than you. Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're talking about Arsenal right now. But they never seem to want to talk about it. The attitude I have is that every true big Don elite club has won everything.
Yeah.
At one stage, Nottingham Forest, they were big boys. They won everything. Arsenal have not got the crown. They don't get on the same level as Chelsea, City now, Man U, Liverpool, Forest, Villa, Juventus, AC Milan, Inter Milan, Bayern Munich, PSV, Ajax, list goes on. They all done the big thing. They all won the Champions League. And to me, that was why I didn't rate City as one of the big boys yet until they done the Champions League.
Well, when they done the treble, I think they cemented it, right?
Exactly. But all they had to really do was get the Champions League because it's the only thing they hadn't done.
Yeah.
But getting it with a treble, smashed it. Now, Arsenal went for an unbeatable season with quite arguably the best or joint best team on the planet at the time. You can't argue that one.
Yeah.
And
they bottled it.
Yeah. And the last bit I'll add to it is how many times have we actually been in the Champions League? Is it 8 or 9?
Give or take there, around that.
Maybe a bit more, maybe a few more.
Because the first year, but the first
year was 2009.
2009.
Yeah.
2009. We then didn't get in it. We didn't get it in it the year after.
Let's just say it's 8 or 9, either way. Yeah.
It's 7 or 8. 7 or 8.
Yeah. Either way. And we got to one final. They went in it 22 years straight. And if I remember, they've been in it about 25 times. And they've only reached one final. 22 years straight, and they only reached one final.
Exactly what we've done. Exactly what we've done. So when we
put in this exercise and being there if they don't get to a final after being in it,
and this is why I can't slate Arsenal on their history and that. Their history is outstanding. They are a bigger club than us.
Domestically, incredible. You can't argue that, right? There's no debate there, right?
But what have they won that we haven't? Okay, someone could say the Premier League, but Premier League, League One, League, whatever you want to call it, wherever the names changes, we won the league. It might be 60, 70 years ago, but we've won it. And they haven't won nothing, we haven't. And until they win that Champions League, and that is why they're so tender about it, they will never be looked on as one of the top boys. Like with Harry Kane. People said he'll never be looked on as a top striker until he wins a league or something, until he has silverware on him. And that is how I see Arsenal. And every time you mention it, they get so sour over it.
They do. No, they do. Agree. Guys in the chat, listen, we're all having a bit of a laugh, a bit of a debate. If any Arsenal fan wants to come on, you're actually welcome on here. I'll let you come on. If any of the Arsenal fans in the chat want to come in and have a little chin wag, you're welcome completely. Yeah. Please smash the likes. Listen, it's all debate. It's all tribalism. This is what I love about North London Derby weekend. It's big. It's exciting. Please smash the likes. Let's get the likes up on here straight away, guys. So, where is this game going to be won or lost? I know what I think. Now, tell me, guys. Steve, I haven't heard from you, my friend. Tell me, where does the game get won or lost? I think I know the answer, but I would like to hear your thoughts firstly, my friend.
I think the game is won and lost. If we're talking about the physical side of the game, I think definitely midfield for me, and also on the wings. Ben White is a very good right back, and he's been really consistent for Arsenal. It's a good test for Manor Solomon. It'll be his first derby with Tottenham, obviously. Kulusevski versus Zinchenko could find some joy there. And then it's going to be Saka versus Udogi. And
Saka
obviously-
Udogi's one I'm really excited for.
yeah, that's a key.
I think that as a
absolutely.
battle is going to be a really interesting one.
Because Udogi has the pace, he has the discipline to quiet Saka. Olaina has done a job on Saka for Forest earlier in the season. And he obviously Olaina is a decent player, but he's not. I rate Udogi obviously higher. But yeah, it'll be for me the midfield. But the biggest thing is for me it's the mentality. I'm saying it'll be a 4-3 Arsenal win. But that's not saying that, I don't think I think you guys suck or anything. I just think it'll be a game of highs and lows. It'll be a game of maybe Arsenal score first, but then Spurs score 2. Maybe Arsenal score, maybe Spurs score. So I think it's about it's a boxing fight. And I think both fighters are going to take blows to the head. They're gonna wobble a bit. Can you stay up? Can you stay in the game? And can you battle through adversity? Because both teams have been obviously over the years bottlers, right? There have been mental slip-ups, and obviously you can look at it the physical side of things, and the actual application of whatever. So for me, I think it's the mentality. I think it's the mentality. Because if you guys go into it, obviously the players and the manager, I don't think you're going into this game looking at what happened in the head-to-head in the past, because it's a lot of brand new players to Spurs that haven't been in a North London derby before. That could go one of two ways. But I think the mentality is the key for me. And I think also the game could be in the first minute. Arsenal have conceded, and I keep banging on about this because I think that is something that Arsenal have struggled to, at the Emirates. They have not started off games the greatest. So maybe you guys could be the ones to punish them as well.
No, listen, I think it's Steve. I think it's a really, really good analysis on what you've said. I think it's a great one. I think the one you missed there, though, I think the 3 versus 3 in midfield is going to be so interesting. It's Basuma, Sarr, Maddison versus Vieira, Rice, and Odegaard. It's out of the 2 number 10s. Which of those new number 10s are going to be the ones that create more, offer more, right? Ben, I'll come to you, my friend. Where I think the midfield is going to be where it's won or lost. I think let's see which midfield can start the game and control it. It'll be interesting to see. And if they start Kai Havertz, I'd be worried for them. I think he's awful. But that's my opinion.
I think the game is won or lost in Dan E's favourite footballer in the world, Alexander Zinchenko. I think if we go at Zinchenko and we put fast players on Zinchenko and make him actual position of play left back, I think their midfield could collapse. Because if they have to compensate for playing Zinchenko's position as well as having that extra man in midfield, which is what he does, he plays left back, but he tucks into midfield as that inverted fullback. If we make him play left back and we put someone like Brennan Johnson on him, who's the second fastest player in the league, I think we can really dominate that midfield. And if they play Zinchenko as left wing back and play Kai Havertz in midfield, and we can expose that, I think it could be a very tough afternoon. But you've got to expose those 2 players, because those 2 players, when they're actually asked to do a more orthodox job, they don't do it. They're not orthodox players.
Yeah, no, I get that. I think, do you know what? Do you know what I love about this? I love the debate in the chat, by the way. Big up to you guys in the chat. Keep it civil. Let's not be angry. Let's just keep it civil. It's all football, right? It's just debate. It's going to be won or lost over 90, maybe 100 minutes, and then we're going to all move on with our lives and stuff and get on with it. For me, I think it's going to be I think it's going to be so incredible, right? I think it's going to be. But on Savage show earlier, he made a great point. Arsenal are 4 years down the line in their so-called process. Spurs are what, 2 months into it, 3 months into it? I think I think the pressure on Arsenal is enormous compared to Spurs. I think.
Oh, it
I
is
don't
now,
know.
definitely.
I don't like the terminology, but it makes a lot of sense. I think this is a free hit for Spurs. I don't like the terminology. I think for Spurs it's a free hit here. I think this is for Postecoglou and Tottenham, and he's sitting there going, they've already written you guys off. He'll be sitting there going, guys, they've written us off already. They think they're going to walk all over us. Look at them all. We're going to win. We're losing
so much
5-1.
pressure on them. They put
We
so
are the
much
underdogs.
on their own team.
Of course we are.
We are the underdogs to it. And we really don't have nothing to lose out of this.
I think
I think
that's the key bit, right? We've got nothing to lose. Arsenal are a team that should be challenging Manchester City.
They are there now.
They're up there.
They've had their 6 years build up and everything. We're at the first 2 months of it. They've had their 6 years build up. They've been so near yet so far. And if we ended up beating them or even getting a draw with them, they would not like that at all. They definitely would not like that, and it would hurt them more than us. The other point is, I totally agree with what Ben said. 100%. I think midfield is going to be where this one gets sorted. Now, if you look on midfield, I personally think we got a better free centre mid than they have. Maddison, I think you can argue with him and Odegaard. I mean, as far as I know, Maddison's actually got a better passing and goal ratio and that than Odegaard. Declan Rice, definitely the better defensive midfield out of it, but I think Basuma gets in over Partey and Havertz. What is that all about?
Yeah, I think Arsenal fans say they don't rate Basuma is madness, by the way. And Scott Jones, this is where you don't understand. This is where you don't listen to me. And listen, Scott, I urge you to go and look at my other content. All my content for the week stuff, I've said exactly the same thing. I haven't changed it. Because when you're saying, oh, you and your psychological games, Arsenal are ahead in process, isn't Ange better than Arteta? Never said that. And aren't Arsenal performing well now? I agree you have. You were looking for an excuse already. No, I'm not. I've said all along it's going to be a draw. I've said 3-3 all week. I sat there and said Arsenal are the favourites for this game. Of course they are. That's a non-negotiable. Any Spurs fan that sits there and says that Spurs are favourites to win it, they're in cuckoo land. We don't win at the Emirates. That's a fact. I think we've won there twice in recent history. And when we're talking about recent history, there's been about 6 managers in the middle of all that. So I'm not delusional when I say that. What I'm talking about, Scott, is when Arsenal fans have come into my chat going, we're going to batter you boys, smash you, 4 or 5 goals we're scoring. Okay.
It's a dangerous attitude.
If Spurs lose 1-0 to a penalty or whatever, isn't that you guys jumping to the front of yourselves? I think you guys are worried about Tottenham. You're worried that Tottenham are going to come along and actually play the football that you guys aren't going to be happy for high intensity pressure. When the pressure gets to Arsenal, they fall apart. We saw it last season. The season before that, when we came to our place and got absolutely battered off the park to an absolute awful manager in Conte. Battered off the park. Mentality. Listen, I think Arsenal have as much chance to win it as anyone else, right? They're a good football inside. I'm not delusional when I say that.
It's also fitness. I think this Arsenal side might not have got into their full fitness yet. I think this Arsenal team is geared up to be. I think it's sort of geared up to the way Man City sort of get fit. They get fitter towards the end of the season. I think this Tottenham team are fitter now, and I think that could give us a lot of that could give us a bit of an advantage because we can go for a long time, which proved the pudding against Sheffield United at the weekend that we kept on going even through the adversity.
I just find the absolute madness here. Like, listen, it's not unconceivable for Tottenham to win. It's not unconceivable for Arsenal to win. It's not unconceivable for a draw, by the way. Both teams play very high intense, high risk factored football, right? There's no pragmatism in either manager. and I'll give it to Arteta. He plays a good standard and a good quality of football. I'm not delusional by saying that. I think that's fair and just to say it. But this is going to be the first test for Mikel Arteta. The
Same as
first
it is for
manager
us.
that's going to go toe-to-toe with him, right? Let's see what happens.
I think a lot of Arsenal fans are making the same mistake that a majority of Spurs fans made last week. As all I saw everywhere was, we're going to do Sheffield 5-0, 4-0. I knew that weren't going to happen from day one. That's what happens when you underestimate someone. Arsenal are just totally looking over us at the moment. I've got no problem with that.
They think they've already won the game when it's the ball team.
Exactly.
It's mad.
And I don't know how the team's going to... I think Arsenal are going to come out all guns blazing for about 10, 15 minutes. If we can hold them for that 10, 15 minutes, then I think they're going to get a bit wary. Because I think a lot of teams at the moment, they don't quite know what to expect at Spurs. And one thing we definitely have over them at the moment, I mean, if I remember right, I think Martinelli's injured as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Martinelli.
It's 50-50.
And we've just lost Perisic, isn't it? But if you actually look, I mean, say we put Son down the middle. If you actually look on the left and right now, we now actually have subs that can come in and change the style of play up front. So if it's not working that way with Kulusevski, we can now change that to a pure pace and attack with Johnson. If it's not working on the left, with whoever, you can bring Solomon on there who dribbles it in there. We've got players up front who are capable now of changing the style of play, whereas we never had that up front before. It was Kane's way, and that was the only way. So we do have some ups on them, but overall, as players, they do have a better team than us. But again, I love being the underdogs in it, and we shall see.
Listen, I think that's a great point. I think there's no, do you know what it is? Is right now in the way that we are at the moment, there's no shame in losing at Arsenal. Listen, I'll give Arsenal credit now. Listen, Arsenal are a very, very well-functioned team, right? Yeah. They're a well-functioned team. So I expect Arsenal to be on top for this game. I think they'll come in fine form. But Arsenal fans need to have a bit of humility. A little bit of humility and go, do you know what? This Spurs team plays some good football, right? Some tidy football. I think this is a bravado. And I'm going to say this now. Arsenal fans, you can say whatever you want. But I think this is bravado. I think deep down you are worried. I still think you guys think you're going to win. I don't disagree. I expect you to win against us. You beat us at your place all the time. So I expect that. I'm not denying that. But there is something, the fact that you're all going so aggressive with it now. Normally you go, no, we beat you our place. We're not worried. The fact that you're talking about it all the time, you're nervous. Deep down, you're worried that this Spurs team will come at you guys. I think you guys deep down are worried about it. And listen, that's fine. That's cool. I'm worried about Arsenal. I think Arsenal are a good football side. I hate North London derbies for it.
Yeah.
Don't pretend you're not a little bit worried about us. I don't believe it. Like, I don't believe you when you sit there and go, if you're so confident, blah, blah, blah. You wouldn't be on here going, we're better than you and all this. You wouldn't be doing that. You'd be sitting back going, do you know what? You guys speak. We'll show it on the pitch, right? We'll show you how we do it. And I think, Steve, welcome back, my friend. Now we don't have to see your legs and your dirty floor on your car.
Sexy.
Very.
I did. What are your thoughts, Nick? I genuinely think that's my theory on it, and I will stand by my theory on that. I think just stay humble, right? I feel like I've stayed humble with this. I've given Arsenal a lot of plaudits. Rightly so. Listen, they were challenged for the title last season up until the end of it.
Yeah.
Like, listen, let's be honest with that. Like, they're at a different level to us right now. But this Tottenham team are riding a wave at the moment. There's a Tottenham team riding a wave. And you just think, what if? Ball comes whipping in by Brennan Johnson, who's at the back post. Heung-min Son tucks it away to win it in the death. I expect every single Arsenal fan in this chat to be coming on Monday morning when I go live at lunchtime. offering an apology. Perchy, we got it wrong. If you guys win, I'll say the same, right? Just remember, it's easier. I put my face to an opinion, right? Say it how it is, what I feel, my truth, right? What I think. I expect you guys not to care on Monday, just if we win, right? Before Dan, I know you were going to say something. Alex has turned up because he wants to unleash something. Alex, I'm going to let you jump in. How are you doing, my friend? What do you want to say? Because I feel like you're going to go in at somebody, and I don't know who.
It's nice to meet a friend, Mr. Botsoff, for Mr. Botsoff. It's someone that appreciates Mr. Botsoff's Perchy TV. It's quite funny. It's quite funny. Sav has banned me from his show, but it's the fact is, it's quite funny. He's saying the same thing I'm saying.
Derby. I'm not talking about other people.
Yeah, but no. Well, bro, it's not coming from you. It's come from Mr. Botsoff's mouth. He knows what to do. You know what I mean?
My friend.
But my point is that it's funny. He's saying the same thing what Mr. Botsoff is saying. You know what I mean? But I'm called the most negative one. I'm the negative one, I've been told.
I think a lot of people agree with what you
I
say.
thought I was the negative one.
I'm the negative one, I've been told.
People call you negative because you come out with outlandish statements. That's the difference. When you say you hate Postecoglou, you don't hate him.
No. But you know why I say I hate Postecoglou? It's because of deluded fans like Jay that say to me, I need to back things, and then twist my words and everything else. That's why I don't like Postecoglou at the moment, because of those fans, not because of Postecoglou, and because I've been failed how many times. It's like, huh?
You could have done what you wanted yesterday, right? You must be happy. You didn't like Gabbiadini and you didn't like Paratici. They're gone.
Yeah.
So you must be happy, right? Thank you, Daniel Levy, right?
Listen. I'm not going to apologise for Paratici. I'm sorry. He was a joke as far as I'm concerned. I don't really care.
But you didn't. He's gone, right? He's
gone, right? Yeah. Well, that's the point. Yeah, I won't lie. You know, I'm not gonna lie. No,
Alex,
I'm not
going to put you full screen, and I want you to say thank you, Mr. Levy, for sacking Gabbiadini and Fabio.
No. Don't go too far. Don't go too far. No, don't go too far. Don't go too far. That guy needs to do a lot more. You know what I mean? Needs to do a lot more. Bloody hell, he's got a lot of my money already, bro. Sorry, he needs to do a lot more for my money. Thank you very much. My point is, at the end of the day, right? I think we're all getting too triggered by Arsenal. You know what they're doing to you, bruv. They know what you're doing. They know what they're doing.
Oh, do you know what? This is the first time I'm not triggered by anything because I know what it is. It's bravado.
Well, so that's the thing. I'm sitting there. What is the point of Tottenham Hotspur right now? Sorry to interrupt you, Perchy. What is the point of Tottenham right now? We are building. We are building. Yeah. If we lose against Arsenal, okay. Yeah. Right. What we have to deal with it. Yeah. As long as we perform the way we've been performing, what happens? What happens? You know what I mean?
No, listen. As I said all along. I want us to go into the North London Derby on Sunday and play the same football that we played all season. No excuses, right? I don't want to slip him back in this pragmatic, boring football. Listen, even if we get battered 4-0, but we've played the right way of football that under the manager, we've not rolling over. It's not going to happen, by the way. We're not losing 4-0. We'll get goals in this game. There'll be goals from Tottenham in this game. But my point is that stick to what we do. Stick to our game plan, no matter what the scoreline is. Win, lose, or draw, we play the same way. Listen, you're right in what you say. We are building. We're 3 months into a new system, right?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying I need time to convince myself at the moment. I need to be convinced. Okay. And that's what I'd ask the Tottenham fans to appreciate, that certain Tottenham fans have been damaged already because of Martin Jol, Harry Redknapp. Pochettino's my last straw, because all through those years of those Martin Jol, Harry Redknapp, I was a kid that believed, yeah. Even though I've been, and someone cheekily said that I'm a glory hunter. Well, in 1998, when I started supporting Tottenham, we nearly got relegated. So how's that a glory hunter, for goodness sake?
How can you be a glory hunter and support Spurs?
My entire life.
How can you call?
How can you call someone a glory hunter when they nearly got relegated in 1998? And I was seeing us getting bantered by Manchester United, bantered by Arsenal, bantered by Leicester, bantered by every single team. Yeah, we got absolutely bantered by Man City one FA Cup game when Barton got sent off. Yeah, does everyone remember that?
What,
Yeah, I
when we
remember
lost
that.
4-3?
We do
When we
need to
lost
go
Yeah,
back
4-3.
to the topic of North
Yeah,
London
I was
derby
working
now,
there.
Alex.
I
We
was
need to go back
working
to
there on
North
the
London
North Stand.
derby.
No. But Ben, I'm making a point here. I'm making a point here. If you're listening, yeah. My point is, yeah, is that when people say to me that I'm the most negative person and say that I'm, I'm a glory hunter, I'm making a point. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. If you didn't hear what I'm trying to say there, my point is, yeah, is that we've got a long way to go. Yeah. And throughout those years, I have been let down so many times. Yeah. So now it's got to a point where I'm saying to my team, prove it to me now. Prove it to me now. Yeah. And when people say I need to be happy, well, what does Mr. Box Office do in his private time, bro? None of your business. You see what I'm saying? So you don't know what Mr. Box Office or Alex is like in his private life, and that's it. Maybe ask
I don't wanna
Kuva
know.
or Asthmatic, yeah, or Dan, or even Perchy, or even Sava,
I've got a
yeah.
shout.
Yeah, what Mr. Box Office is really like. Yeah,
Alex, mate,
Alex is
we
really
know.
like, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, and that's it. Back to you, Perch. I'm done. Rinse these
He's
people
done.
to pieces. If you don't know,
Who
get to know.
who can
Thank you,
call a Spurs
Alex.
supporter a glory hunter, for God's sake?
Wait, who's a glory hunter?
How can anyone call a Spurs
Oh wow,
supporter a
Darren.
glory
No.
hunter?
I mean, he's picked the wrong football club, my friend. You don't pick Tottenham to be a glory hunter. That's not how it works.
And Alex,
Listen,
that game with City that we lost 4-3, that was when we was up 3-0, 3-1, wasn't
Yeah,
it? And
3-0
then they
up.
yeah, I was working on the North Stand doing security when that happened.
Was that an FA Cup game?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm just
Oh,
saying,
no, the worst
listen,
one
I'm not
was
trying to
probably-
drag it on the subject. I'm not changing the subject. I'm just saying, making the point that I'm not a glory hunter. And like I've said before, this is a build. I'm not saying, listen, I want trophies like everybody. I want to see good football like everybody. Yeah. Sorry to interrupt you, Ben, because I know you're trying to speak. Sorry about that. My point is, yeah, right, is that I'm just saying at the moment that I can't have any expectations at the moment because I know that I can be let down so many times. I'm saying to the team, I'm saying to them, well, prove it to me then, yeah? Prove it to me. But it's too early. It's way too early. One thing I will say, which I've heard from Arsenal fans already, is like, "Oh, we played nobody." I'm not being funny. We've done actually not too bad for a team that have just started out a rebuild, a build. Thank
Who
you
have
very
they
much.
played?
I'm sorry, we haven't
Spot
played
on.
nobody. Thank you very
Who have
much.
they played?
You know what I mean?
Apart
It's
from
a load
Man
of
U.
nonsense.
Listen, I
Absolute
think the
load of
North.
nonsense. But I'm called negative because now I've just said a positive. I've just said an optimistic statement to you. You know what I mean? So am I lying right now? Is it everybody right now? Am I lying right now? Am I
No.
No, you're
lying?
being realistic.
You
You're being
tell,
Exactly.
you
realistic.
tell no lies.
That's it.
bro.
Sorry, Perchy. I'll leave it back to you because I know you'll hit it out the park, and that's it. Back to you.
And
I'm
because I
done.
have to wrap up in 5 minutes. That's why, Alex. You could go on forever. I love it, mate. It's great. It's absolutely brilliant, my friend. What I will say, though, guys, listen, I think North London Derby over the weekend's coming. It's coming. Listen, we know what's going to happen. What I will say, guys, is one thing I want to say. 44 likes with 130 of you in here. Come on, guys. Smash the likes on the way out. Let's get that. That should be over 50 easily. What are we doing? I know I started a little bit late, but I had to finish it too, just so, because I'm moving you all over to Kate's show. Go and show her some love and share some love here on this channel as well. Listen, there'll be some stuff coming out soon, some shorts coming out, some more videos and stuff. Ben, you're live later on at 2
p.m. 2
So
p.m.
it's like 3. I always say 3 because it's 3 p.m. for me.
Yeah.
Steve, you're doing a watch along later on for Monaco versus Nice.
Yeah, the Derby de Côte d'Azur, as they say in France.
Say that again. I love it when you speak French.
The Derby de Côte d'Azur.
Oh, it is the derby. The Côte d'Azur. It is a very good, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, listen. Big up, Alex. Content coming soon.
Working on it, bro. Unfortunately, life's getting in the way. Sorry about that, but yeah. I've promised a lot of things. I do apologize to everybody that's subscribed to me. I appreciate it, but yeah, unfortunately, life has got in the way. Unfortunately,
Yeah. No,
but
Darren. I
hopefully
knew.
soon.
It's all good, man.
But listen, like on a serious level, the arena of optimism. I love it. Future music. Then we need to name the stadium that. I love it.
As long as it ain't
absolutely
Tesco, I'll be
brilliant.
happy.
Listen, we're gonna leave it there. I'm gonna wrap it up. We can send you all over to Kate's show, so make sure you go and share some love. Thank you so much, you guys. Listen, all the Arsenal fans in here, listen. It's a bit of a laugh. Listen, there's nothing serious. Listen, there's no ill feeling. It's all good. It's all fun in love and war. I'll be back live tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, a little bit later than normal. I'm going to be only doing an hour. So I think I'm going to be starting at 10, not 9 tomorrow. 10 to 11, I'll be doing tomorrow. Have a little bit of a line probably tomorrow. And then on Sunday, the big day, I will be doing... Savile will be going live. I won't be doing a morning show. Savile will be going live in the morning. I will be following him for the Tottenham versus Arsenal pre-show. And then we'll be going straight over to the watch-along. So now all content will be flowing out on Sunday morning. Then the derby. It is what it is. Listen, much love to everyone in the chat. Genuinely, listen, Spurs, Arsenal, whatever team you support, much love. Listen, enjoy it. And what time Monday? Monday at 12 o'clock, Alex. 12 o'clock UK time. If Spurs win or Arsenal win, come along. I don't care. If you guys win, give me a ribbon. If you guys win, I will be doing an open forum for Arsenal fans to vent if Spurs win. I will sit there and just sit in the corner and let you guys have it out. How about that? I know you said you'll be there. Big up to you, my friend. That's what we'll be doing. We'll be doing the apologies. The Perchy apologies will be on Monday when we win. Guys, much love. Listen, thank you so much, you guys, all for coming in. Big up to you all. Dan, Ben, Steve, as always, and Alex for dropping, unleashing as he always does. Go over, subscribe to these guys' amazing stuff. Go over there and check all their stuff out. Listen, help all YouTubers out. Listen, we all need support and stuff. Listen, if you guys don't watch our stuff, there's no point of us doing it. It's just like a group of men moaning on a Zoom call. As always, guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. And listen, come on, you Spurs. Levy out. Levy out. Remember, Arsenal fans, Spurs have won more European trophies than you. On that note, right. See you later.
See you later, everyone.
And here's Kane. He sits on Tottenham's loftiest perch, beyond even the great Greaves. Spurs' most lavish scorer.